Hey gang, it's the average guy here coming at you today with a review of this Earthquake Pioneer tiller. This is made by a company called Ardisam, which while I had never heard of them, they seem to have been in business from best I can tell since the 1950s or even 60s, making tools and power tools. This tiller is purchased to replace another tiller that you'll see on my channel, which is a 1972 Troy-built horse tiller that, while I have an extremely sentimental attachment to it, I just can't afford to keep pouring money into it so that it can keep leaking oil and having all kinds of issues that it has. So I'm going to sell that one, and ideally I'll be using this one. Now, you'll notice that this has a 99cc Viper motor on it. The Troy-built was repowered some years ago with a 212cc Predator. I'm concerned that this 99cc motor is going to be inadequate, but from all the reviews I was able to track down and the videos I was able to watch, it seems to be sufficient. One of the reasons that I purchased this tiller was that at the price point, you'll notice that it has both SRT and CRT, standard rotating tines and counter rotating tines, as well as a neutral slot. And I'm highlighting that neutral slot because not all the tillers at this price point seem to have that. And a separate drive feature as well. So the counter rotating tines spin opposite the direction of the wheels. So if you're rolling forward, the tines are actually spinning in reverse, and the standard rotating tines rotate in the same direction that the wheels are moving. You'll notice that they are not bolo tines. My old Troy-built has bolo tines. This clearly does not. And you'll also notice that there's a separate drive function on the transmission so that you can put it in drive without having the tines spinning. So just some features. They are non-pneumatic tires, so they're supposed to never go flat. It has these green highlights on the functional knobs. This obviously is your depth setting. That's your gear function. And then it's got these two like antenna style levers that engage the transmission when it's time to make it move. And it's got this single pull reverse feature that you just give it a tug and it shifts the thing into reverse and it will back up. Again, not all tillers at this price point have all of these features. Most of them are counter rotating tines only. My Troy-built has standard rotating tines, and so being that I've only really been behind that tiller my entire life, I'm comfortable with how that works. I wanted to make sure that I got forward rotating tines or standard rotating tines on my new machine, but then I wanted to kind of tinker with this counter rotating tines idea and see how much more effective it was at breaking up earth, because they said for clearing fresh earth, you want counter rotating. I left this cowling on very lightly because I wanted to show something on this initial video for this particular tiller. Number one, this part came damaged. It's factory assembled and it was crushed, and it's also crushed. I'll try to get you a better view of that. I'm trying to do this in one take, but I did call support about this. They've got, at no charge, they have this piece coming for me. It's actually two pieces. The red snaps onto the black in separate fashion. I'm supposed to be getting a replacement on that. Again, no charge, which is good too because it's kind of scratched up. This was assembled at the local hardware store down the street from me, but again, that particular part comes assembled from the factory. The only thing that they had to do at the store, and presumably the only thing that you would have to do if you had one shipped to you, is basically put the wheels on, put the handlebars on, route the cables, and that's basically it. You have to put some oil in it, of course. it comes with that oil. So one of the things I wanted to show that is a concern for me is that this is the reversing pulley. So when you pull the machine into reverse, it'll move this pulley to place this belt in a position where it'll reverse the transmission. But as you can see, the belt rests on this cable. Now, when you pull it into reverse, it moves away and doesn't touch that cable, and that's when it starts spinning. And when you relax it, it stops spinning. I suspect that that's going to wear that cable sleeve in fairly short order. When I contacted Ardisam about the broken cowling, I asked them about this, and their advice to me was to simply zip tie the cable in a position where it wouldn't rest on the belt. But as you can see from the cable routing, if I pull it away, it's going to get in the way of my shift knob. So I'm going to work on this a little bit and see if I can't come up with a solution that keeps that cable away from the sleeve so it doesn't wear. So initially, it's a cool looking little machine. It did start right up on the first pull. It seemed to run fine. It didn't go in reverse. So through investigating why it didn't go into reverse, that's when I found out that the cowling was cracked. And ultimately, when I got the cowling off and looked, the reversing belt was off the pulley. So when I replaced that, that's when I discovered that it was resting on the cable sleeve, and it kind of started that whole thing. So this is just a first take on the Earthquake Pioneer made by Ardisam. There's a Toro equivalent of this machine that costs like an extra $100 or $200. Everything I could tell, they were exactly the same, except the Toro has a 125cc motor on it, made by Briggs & Stratton. I didn't think 25 cc's was worth the additional money, and this one was available locally, basically same day as well. So there you have it. More to come after I use the machine, and we'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. Post your comments if you have any. We always get back to folks, and we'll look forward to seeing the next one. Thanks.